Hey there, it's Mario here, and in this video I wanted to share with you a couple of ideas on how to get motivated to work out. And I'm gonna get this question a lot, like how do you get motivated? How do you stay motivated? What motivates you? And I'm gonna ask you a question, like what do you think motivates a person? Like which of these two would come first if you had to choose? Does motivation come first or taking action? And this is something I see a lot of people get wrong, is that they don't realize that action actually precedes motivation. They think like I can simply wait for that feeling to come and it's just gonna manifest itself and then I can take action. And that is a pretty logical conclusion, to think that motivation will come before action. I mean, as a logical human being, you can assume, yeah, it's like motivation and then I feel like it and then I go do it and it's like just works like that. Well, in reality, it doesn't, right? Motivation is the critical factor, but it only comes after you've done an action, right? After you do some form of right action. And the beauty of this is that you can take any action. You can take any right action. So a quick example of this is like from my own life is that I rarely feel motivated to go to the gym, right? Like straight out of my bed, or like when I'm at home, when I'm just working on my laptop, I'm browsing, I'm watching some YouTube videos. You think I feel motivated to go to the gym? I'm like, fuck no, man. Like I'm just like shit. But I know, because of my experience has told me, that if I just take some action, if I just get my ass to the gym, and if I go through a couple of warm-up sets, by that halfway through that warm-up, I'm gonna get motivation to do that workout, right? Do you understand? Like I take an action and then I found motivation. Motivation found me, right? The motivation arises from my action. And funny thing is that even if I finish, like, let's say I'm replying to some annoying email that I've been procrastinating on for a while, if I reply to that email, I'm gonna get a little bit of that momentum. I'm gonna get a little bit of that motivation, right? So it really comes down to taking any form of right action, and that will automatically generate some motivation which you can use then to take more action. So sounds very, very simple, right? And it is simple, right? You just have to fucking do something. If you feel down, you need to do something immediately. And I mentioned there the power of momentum, and that is something that a lot of people misunderstand, right? People, I guess, can't visualize or get a feel for momentum, and a lot of self-help books out there, a lot of videos that you're gonna watch on the power of momentum, it's gonna say, hey, just imagine a boulder, and it takes some more power to move it, and then it can actually move by itself for a while, and that's kind of how you can get a feel for momentum, right? But the way I want to kind of, I guess the way I teach momentum and really the power of momentum is by realizing what happens when there's an absence of it, right? So let's say you've been going to the gym for 5-6 months and you've been really diligent with your schedule, you've been hitting gym pretty regularly, but then something happened in your life. Let's say you got like sick for a short term, like you had a cold, like you had to do something, maybe something just happened in your life and that prevented you from going to the gym for a couple of weeks. And then you want to restart. You want to restart your habit. And then you feel that resistance. Well, that resistance is a gap because there's no momentum, right? Then you can get a feel for the power of momentum when there's no momentum there. And that is how I like to kind of get people to visualize and get a feel for that momentum, because it's a really, really powerful tool, and it's just the law of universe, right? Things that are in motion tend to stay in motion. It's a very, very simple law. So going further, one important factor is that there's this myth circulating around that you're supposed to be feeling things before you do things. And that is pretty much what procrastination is, right? Procrastination is waiting for the feeling of motivation. That's kind of my definition of procrastination. And what procrastinators generally don't realize is that there is no feeling that is going to just simply come by itself. You need to take action to generate that feeling. And I really like the quote of Pablo Picasso on this, and he said, like, inspiration will come, but it has to find you working. So you have to be working in order for that motivation to come, in order for that inspiration to arise, right? So it's a really powerful point here that he's made, and he's like an artist. Artists have the most tremendous amount of resistance when it comes to creating art. And if you ever try to write a blog post, or if you ever try to make a video like this, you know that there's a bunch of fucking resistance to overcome every single time you step in front of the camera, or if you try to write something, any form, like if you try to paint something, create some music or anything, right? So there's a lot of resistance, and resistance can only be overcome by simple action, right? And how does it work? Like, what really happens? Well, look, first you start taking action, you do something. That action will generate a little bit of motivation, that will generate a little bit of momentum. That momentum will translate into discipline. Discipline will then translate into habits. Habits will then translate into identity, and then voila, you have a new identity. And when you have that identity, it's not even a question anymore whether you're gonna do things, whether you're gonna do the right things to move yourself closer to your goals or not, right? Identity is kind of the final thing, I said, like the final phase. And I already made a couple of videos on that. I'm gonna leave them in the description below for you guys to check out on the power of identity and how that identity kind of changed my life and changed the lives of people that I work with, my clients, in terms of fitness and nutrition coaching, and I guess lifestyle and mindset as well. So I hope you guys resonate with this idea, and I would want to hear from you in the comments below. What do you think about the idea of like simply action preceding motivation rather than motivation coming first? Because it's really something that has changed my life in the last couple of years tremendously. And once I realized this concept, I was like completely mind blown. And I hope you guys will also take advantage of this and really implement it in your life. And on top of that, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to click subscribe below, share the video with your friends. As always, if you're there complaining that they're lacking motivation to go to the gym, this video is probably something they would want to watch. And thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.